Hello, lovers of the earth. This is Yemaya Renuka for the Embrace.life. Posting today at the Embrace Deep Feminine in Action, which is our Facebook group where we gather informations, inspirations, teachings, um, both from male and female in the body to help and support us towards the empowerment and the guardianship of Mother Earth and the deep feminine in action. So I was just about to do a Facebook Live with my friend Kaluna Kiato on a pretty deep subject, and we kept being interrupted by technology dysfunctions. So we postponed it to next week, but I promised myself that I would offer you this intuitive reading, somatic intuitive reading weekly now on Friday mornings. It's been a few months of a lot of work putting together a new organization called the Embrace. So there hasn't been much regularity into my offerings here, and this is about to change. So stay tuned. We'll have a weekly intuitive reading for the energy of the week. And so today, the subjects we were going to tackle with Kaluna was how do we get back into the earth ways? How do we move from greed to contentment, from fear to love? Right, and from gluttony, that sense of needing more and more and more, to a sense of peace and fullness and respect. So, one thing I really wanted to speak about was the respect between not only the humans and the species, the beast species, and the earth, but also our intergenerational awareness, and how when we gather from different generations the wisdom and the qualities of each generation, we create a really strong, empowered force, that we very much need at the moment. So before I go into our somatic meditation and the reading, I just wanted to mention an inspiration that I got from one of my mentor, Sage Levine, with which I'm working right now, regarding knowing when enough is enough. And she has this beautiful story of traveling to South America with another mentor of hers, Lynn Twist, and to some small village and tribe down there, and being told the story that in that particular area, the women were in charge to say when enough was enough. Meaning, the forces, the young workers of the village, the hunters of the village would go and fetch food, for the year, so that they could do dry meat, etc., etc. The woman would be in charge to say, okay, it's enough. We have enough for this year. Let's stop. We don't need to kill more animal for our, subsistence. Same thing with wood, like they would, prepare, like we need that much wood, for the huts, and, maybe for the fire, etc., etc. And the woman would come. And so, they would be the judge to say, that's enough. We have enough. So the woman would regulate the, how much was taken from the earth. And I find this story very, has a lot of significance, for us now, as the women have the chance to reclaim their voices. As we reclaim our voices and do our healing, there is a natural flow, it's like a flowing river, to become earth guardians. And that is very much my focus at this point, at the cycle of my life, to really support both women and men and their feminine wisdom within, to get into the power and have the impact of that natural flow to become social and environmental justice guardians, activists, educator, advocates, depending at which level of action do you want to show up. So, this is a really good time and a good story, today on International Women's Day, to sit with that and see, like what is each other's part? What is my part in becoming a natural guardian of our resources and with the love of the earth and the beast in our hearts? There's many ways we can do that, and I want to tell you that I am here to support you and whatever your entrepreneurships and visions, and really help you dismantle whatever is in the way of your emotional, energetical, and psychological body to access the tools and give you the impact that you want to have in this lifetime. So we'll take a nice breath and just, if you would, settle in with me, settling in the body, just coming into, on this beautiful day, it's sunny here in Southern California, and tapping into the breath that is filling up our lungs. Nurturing our hearts. It's this beautiful, lungs, heart, breath, area in our chest, and then the breast itself, that are providers of nurturing, of food, for the babes. And just like focus on the top, of the torso, and just feel how nurturing that space is, or how it could be if it's not there. Just trying to relax all the little muscles, the chambers of the heart. And relaxing the muscles of the neck and the throat and the jaws and the face. And letting the next exhale really ground now deep, passing through the solar plexus and grounding deep in the belly, in that womb. And that's both for male and female. Let yourself feel that womb. And then further down, as we open the solar plexus and the womb, going all the way down to the roots, the sacrum, your connection, your tailbone, and letting your energy go down toward the center of the earth, the core of Mother Earth. Remembering that connection with her can constantly feed you when you feel hungry for anything. And find that sense of contentment, santosha. And feeling that connection as well with the top of the crown, the top of the head, and the cosmos, the divine sun, the moon. Remembering that we are very fortunate to live in between the core center of the earth and the core center of the cosmos. So I'll just pick up a couple of cards for today. I don't want us to be here too long. I know we all have very busy, active lives. And I like to pick from Kuan Yin Oracle and then from the animal cards. I find them very complementary, so that there is the very an earthy Native American traditions support. And then this one is it's Kuan Yin Oracle, and it's it's more of the upper chakras, if you would, perhaps, in its energy. So for today, International Women's Day, and this coming weekend, we just entered Mercury retrograde. Some of us are feeling that, in our communications and relationships. And I think my question is how do we practice the most empowering stance in the midst of a shake? For some reason, that's the word that comes. Midst of a shake, something that is shaking loose, something that is inspiring us to rise higher or deeper. So the allies, here is the dance of the butterfly queen in Kuan Yin. And deer. Beautiful. So these are actually really sweet, very sweet cards. It's not, it's not like, dang, slam, get in there. So deer, as you might know, represents gentleness. I love the story of deer that, where there was this animal in the forest, and perhaps it was a bear, or it was something even more archetypal, some kind of monster that everybody was fearing. And the more he was being feared, the more he was angry, of course. As everybody would run away from him and calling name and try to kill him. And deer is the one that once, one day she was tranquil in the forest, maybe with her babies and eating some leaves, and suddenly the monster showed up. And instead of running away like most had, she started going for escaping. And then she realized that actually there was pain in the being, and she turned around, and instead of being scared, she asked, what ails you? What is happening? Why are you hurting? Why are you so angry and mean? And as she did that, the whole energy of the beast started melting down and revealing the vulnerability of its heart and its pain. So deer comes with gentleness and compassion. So if something is shaking loose in your life for yourself and in your growth, this is a really good time to not go with it with an ice pick, but with gentle, compassionate presence. And then the dance of the butterfly queen, always the butterfly remind us always of metamorphosis and transformation. It's a little bit of a sense of this particular incarnation, this particular moment will pass, it will change, it will transform. Which stage of the transformation are you in? Are you ready to let your wings, open up, or are you still in kind of the larva cocoon, caterpillar stage? And whichever of those stages, if you can recognize them and feed them what they need with gentleness, that will be probably the best route to go to. I want to read you a little bit. She has such a beautiful text, Alana Fairchild, with this, with this book. A pure heart and sincere love attracts divine grace. With the grace of Kuan Yin, butterfly queen, that which was impossible becomes possible. From caterpillar to winged creature of delight, we cannot restrain what divine grace ordains, no matter how incredible it may seem to be. We cannot restrain what divine grace ordains, no matter how incredible it may seem to be. Whatever has been troubling you, or whatever has been inspiring you, allow grace to infuse the situation or dream, so that it may unfold with divine perfection. Allow the butterfly queen to dance. She will bring healing and grace to your life situation now, beloved one. With lightness of step and grace in her heart. Sorry, my dog is calling me to open his door, even though he has his own door. Excuse me. I just want to come back in just a minute and complete with us. Come, beast. So I'm really enjoying those two cards for this week, for today, for this weekend. I feel like it's giving a strength of heart and hope that we've spent, some of us have been here for a few decades, like really active in helping us remember the power of the deep feminine on this planet. And again, when I say deep feminine, it's in everybody's body. I don't care which gender you came, you embodied yourself in this lifetime. And that's why we're welcoming men in this group as well, in the Embrace the Deep Feminine in Action. Because we need all of us, right, to tap into that strength and remembrance of the divine feminine in action. And so this very short reading from me says, take heart. Things are about to change. There is, aberration, completely maddening things happening in our surrounding. And this is not really a time to focus on what is challenging. It seems like, this particular window is a time of gentleness, not a time of, like strong I think it's finding the strength in the gentleness. Finding the strength in the gentleness. It seems like right now, at least for this week, compassion is really the word. Compassion and hope. So take heart and gather with each other, honor your younger sisters and younger brothers, honors your older sisters and older brothers. Let's come together in our intergenerational power. Let's exchange wisdom and information and inspiration. Each cycle of life has a gift, and it's time for us to weave our gifts together so that we transform these times into what we can see would be the most beautiful, delightful, justice-oriented, balance planet. There is enough resources for all of us. It is time to stop taking and time to share. Thank you. Ahuiho, until we meet again.